A long way from the D-list, huh?
First guest be?
Real people. No celebrities, please. Yeah, that's right. I just got into a fight with Sharon Osbourne, who said, can I come on your show? And I said, no, you're too famous. Because I feel that real celebrities that have books to promote and movies coming out, they can't speak as freely as my friends who don't know any better. So I'm having people on my show that have never been on TV before. They're from my real life, and they're the people that come over to my house and shoot the breeze and dish and talk smack. And they're not going to get fired the next day or get in trouble from the network.
However, Sharon Osbourne's a good example. There are a handful of celebrities like yourself that are not afraid to speak their minds. You'd never entertain maybe having someone like that because...
I think, they have to see what the show is. By the way, as do I. As do you and Bravo. It's a mystery. But I think that in time, if they want to come and they know to come to play, then of course that's great. But it's funny, I was talking to my nemesis, Ryan Seacrest, who's trying to kill me. I just want to put that out there. I do believe that he and Oprah are trying to kill me. I believe they're in a coven or some sort of a cult where they're trying to kill me. And I'm not being paranoid. So I think that, kind of like, Ryan actually said something really smart, which is he said, you're really doing the radio model, which is you're surrounding yourself with people that work on the show or people that, aren't representatives of a network or a studio or a publishing company, and then they become known by the audience. And they want it, we want to hear what they can say in an uncensored way. So kind of like, Howard Stern, when I listen to Howard, and I'll watch him on AGT because I just love him, but, when I listen to Howard, I am as interested in his fight with Baba Booey or hearing about Robin Quiver's date as I am when Howard has on Jerry Seinfeld or Alec Baldwin. So I think the great thing about that is, and Bill Maher did the same thing, the celebrities come when they know what the deal is, and when they come prepared to play, that's great. But, my nightmare is having 3 famous celebrities that you all know, but they just keep saying, oh, I can't talk about that. That person's a friend of mine. The Kardashians aren't dirty whores. They're nice, honest. What the fuck am I going to do with that? So I like people that will just say anything.
So at what point did you realize that if you did say something and you got the little slap on the wrist from the network or someone, it didn't matter? You were going to push back.
I think when I got more viewers, the more I did it. So, look, I read my twats on Twitter, and I read the face plays with the kids, and I, certainly hear directly from the network that the last thing they seem to want to hear is me to hold back, and also I don't know how. So it's kind of like, I don't really tell one-liners, and if you said, okay, Kathy, you can get $1 million, and you have to go do a corporate show, and you can't swear, and you have to tell really tried and true one-liners, I would have to give the money back. So what I do is I tell stories, and they weave in and out of one another, and they're politically incorrect, and they sometimes make sense. Sometimes they're backed up with facts. Sometimes I don't have time. They're just rumors. It's not a news show. But we will be talking about everything that people are talking about around the water cooler and the stuff that I cover in my act and the stuff I think the Bravo viewers are interested in. And that's anything from the Bachelor not having an African-American bachelor to the young gay man in Iowa, 14 years old, who took his life, to the silliness of the Kardashians and whatever celebrity I've had a run-in with that week, or Kelsey Grammer getting his girlfriend's name tattooed on his pelvic area, and all the topics. We got quite a range going.
Beyond your dress and eyes, how blue can you get?
I can get pretty fucking blue. I mean, they'll just bleep the shit out of me. I actually watched a rough cut of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part 2 because it's my lead-in. So the rough cut was hilarious. When you hear those women sitting in ball gowns from Forever 21, just saying motherfucker this and cocksucker that, I can't help it. That's funny. Look, it's not NPR, people. I'm just here to have fun. And I think when you're bleeped, there's not even a rule about how many times. I'm going to get cunty. I'm going to bring the C word back.
What kind of pressure is it for you behind the scenes, putting everything together?
Well, I wouldn't say it's pressure, but it is sort of a running joke of the show that they don't know what the format is, and then they try to come up with a format, and I try to conform, but I can't seem to do it. So they tried to have me hold cards, like a talk show host holds cards, and it said Kathy, and it had a graphic, and my body was the Y, and it looked very professional. But I'm so dyslexic that the letters were upside down, and then I dropped them at one point, and it looked like, like I was doing prop comedy or something. So then I said, I can't really hold cards. And also, I don't want to really read the show. I want to just say whatever pops into my head. And I certainly want my guests to say whatever pops in their head. Which brings me to my mother. So what makes this show unique is that no other talk show host has their 91-year-old alcoholic mother wrapping up the show. So if you think the network doesn't know what the show is, trust me, my mom has no idea. So she calls me once a day, and she's mandated to be on the show because she tests higher than I do. And when they do focus groups about the Kathy show, the show really should be called Maggie. So I may end up just being the sidekick on my own show. But if that's what the people want, I'll give it to them.
Isn't she on the wagon? I thought you...
No, she's not on the wagon. She might talk a good game about being off boxed wine and act like she drinks wine out of a glass bottle. But let me tell you, I have seen her at her apartment with Franzia and a funnel. And she will tip that box of wine, put it into a glass bottle, and think she's fooling you. And by the way, the glass bottle is $2 Chuck. So, and that's Christmas. That's a good day.
I think one of the best things you've ever done was when you went to Alaska.
Yes, I went to Wasilla with Levi Johnston, and we knocked on Sarah Palin's door. Now, the Palins are just one of those great topics for comedians, that they'll love so much, but I have such a personal connection because I actually went to Wasilla. And, I don't think that many women went to Sarah's house with Levi besides Bristol. So I feel I'm in a very special, exclusive group. I didn't get in, I wasn't allowed in, but I do find a lot of comedy in things like Sarah Palin putting on Facebook that she would like to personally debate the president. As you know, I believe no sitting president has ever just debated a citizen. But she doesn't think I think she thinks she's the vice president. Kind of the way Clay Aiken thinks he won American Idol. I think she still thinks she's the vice president, if not a higher office. So she might think she's the mayor of the United States. She's not so bright, so she may have made up her own title. But I, of course, will talk about what it would look like if Barack Obama just was at a podium and Sarah Palin was at another one, and then Glenn Eiffel had to just dig through that pile of shit. So things like that are funny to Bravo viewers, even though the Bravo viewer also loves Top Chef and Meltdown Reality. They can still enjoy a good Palin joke like anybody else.
And what else is, what's been like the red letter news for you that just got you all
It's constant. It is constant. And that's the great thing about the landscape that we're in right now is because of everything from every website in the world to, thank God, legitimate papers still existing. And by the way, someone told me recently that they got their news from Twitter. I just want to say that while I do twat on Twitter, it's not a fucking news source. Read the fucking paper. So I'm real old-timey. I actually look at the paper now and again. And, so I'm interested in that, but I'm also not above a rumor. So, we will be talking about the Housewives, not because my show is a Bravo infomercial, but there are moments like on the Housewives reunion where Marlo, who's not an official housewife, turns to Kim, who I believe you met earlier and saw her work, and says very proudly something like, you and I are cut from the same cloth. Well, actually, we're not. You're a whore. And she says it in such a calm way that it tells me she's been probably planning this for a long time, and I think that's very funny. Normally, if you call someone a whore, like let's say if I was talking to Khloe Kardashian, I would yell it. I'd say, you're a whore. But the way she said it so calmly and so factually is very funny to me. So, tonight I'll talk about the Housewives, and then next week it could be anything that we're talking about around the water cooler. And as you know, I'm not afraid to talk about embarrassing moments from my actual life.
From tape to air, what are we talking about?
We're talking a day now, but I'm trying to talk them into going live. In fact, let's just say it's live. Like that book, The Secret, or if you keep saying it, it might become true. Look, they don't want to put me live. Let's cut the shit. They're afraid to put me live. I don't blame them.
All right, pop
What are
culture.
they, nuts?
Where do you stand on 50 Shades of Grey? Did you read it or anything?
I love porn.
Did you see the lady get interviewed recently? She's kind of...
I love that she's a real woman, because those are the freakiest ones, right? I guarantee you she's a better fuck than Kim Kardashian. There you go. Who likes to sound
Stop,
right?
we need it. Are we putting you on the radio with that?
I insist.